So first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the State of the Company that we do annually and to the Ciminelli Banquet Facility. Didn't know we called it that. Donna said that name's what, 2 years old, Donna? Yeah. So I think most of you know me. I'm Paul Ciminelli, just CEO of, that's one difference, and I'll get to that in a minute, is Ciminelli Real Estate Corp. And Jim Godstein, our Chief Operating Officer, and our new Crown President, Kyle Ciminelli. Am I right? Which is really a good segue into first thing I wanted to talk about is many of you, I hope all of you know that we have now begun the transition to make Ciminelli Real Estate Corp a third generation company, and which has kind of been in the works for
we have different views on that, but I want to hear yours.
20 years?
Sure.
How's that? Does that work for it?
We'll run with it.
And we have another 20 years to go to finish it. So, no, I'm just kidding. So Kyle, as of the first of the year, was made president of the company. And like I said, we've been talking about this for years. It's something that obviously is near and dear to me. It's always was nice to know that, and always wanted to really make the company. I was very fortunate to have my father as my, the founder and the mentor. So, and that transition, learned a little bit from that, right, Jim?
A little bit.
Yeah. More importantly, what not to do during those transitions. So hopefully that one will go pretty smooth. We'll talk. So, what I'd like to talk about.
It's already gone a lot smoother than the last time already. So
Thanks, Jim.
yeah.
Jim, it's only 6 weeks old.
And I'm saying
Give it time.
It's already smoother.
All right, we're off to a good start. So I'd like to talk a little bit about our one of the things we always like to stress is really our core values, and really it's really what I feel and we feel that what Ciminelli Real Estate Corp is really all about. What really drives us, drives our culture, reinforces our brand, and it's the desire to grow, team above self, great business sense, unwilling to fail, above and beyond work ethic, and every voice is valued. I'd like to really give some examples of those core values in action. One of the things we did last year is we created the corporate stewardship group, and that was composed of employees represented across various departments, each with their own expertise and experiences. Their task was evaluating the company's operations and implementing measures that reduce our environmental footprint, make us greener, promote social responsibility, and enhance our corporate governance. And some examples of that are we developed the most recent project that we cut the ribbon on, a couple of weeks ago? Was it? It's called 716 Health. Some of you may know it as UB Orthopedics and Kaleida Health. Some of you may know it as 111 Maplemere. But it's from this point on, it's 716 Health, and that's located out in Amherst, just south of the UB campus. It's a 160-some thousand foot facility. We're really proud of it. It's really makes a regional impact when it comes to providing state-of-the-art healthcare services. So we're really proud of that. Another thing that we've done recently is re-won the 5-star bank management account. And thanks to the team, we actually did that on more favorable terms now than we did on the first go-around. So that's really code for they really like us, they really need us, and they really value us. So kudos to the team for getting that done. And recently we did survey results to bid out the services that Alcott performs, which is our PEO, and our benefits. And look forward to the information soon, and we're going to have a spring town hall meeting that's going to review the results in detail. And that's going to be a very collaborative meeting with questions and answers, and that's going to happen in the spring. We've also, property management and the maintenance team is partnered with Hamilton for banking equipment. I think that was a major co. And for the property management team, I call the group the Safe Crackers. So good job with you guys to bring that home. We also have done an IT transition, hired Dave Pulio, and in true fashion of an IT guy, he's the guy right here wearing the Hawaiian shirt. Did you wear that just for today, Dave? No, you wear that every day.
I knew I needed to.
So we had to rebuild the IT from the bottom up. Some of you may know that Chris Udi used to handle that as one of his responsibilities. And what we did was we kind of restructured it, put it under Zach's department, brought David in, are doing more in-house, but we still have the relationship with our vendor to provide additional services, which is PCI. So then that's working out very well. Good job, guys, on that. And then we continue to invest in the company and our future by implementing our new Yardi system, which is going to be a pretty challenging initiative for the group. It's across the board with everyone. It's going to affect a lot of people in the group. It's going to take time. It's going to be done in phases, but it's a real challenge, and everyone's really looking forward to it. So kudos to the group for that. So we also have as you know, our 10-year target is to create $10 billion of real estate value by the year 2030. We currently, as of 1/1/24, are at 7.2 billion. So in simple math, we're 72% of the way home. So
describe how we come up with that metric.
Dartboard.
yes, we wing it.
What we do is the way we create value multiple ways. Every time we develop a new project, we've created value. Every time we close a lease, we create value. Every time property management takes on another assignment, we then take care of that property. So when we take on more and more properties, we attribute the value of those buildings to the value we're creating because we're working for those building owners. And that becomes all part of how we manage and how we grow the value, if you will.
So in a company with many, many different service lines, this is one metric that we can all get behind.
Yeah. All right, well, it's a good segue to pass it on to Jim. It's all yours.
Right, thank you, Paul. So I always get the fun stuff. I don't know if you guys know, he gets to talk about the very interesting stuff, and I get more of the technical stuff. Well, last year when we talked about the supply chain problems and how that was impacting businesses, and then we talked about inflation and how that's impacting businesses, and now I get to talk about interest rates and how they're impacting businesses. For anyone paying attention to even the world news, the real estate market across the world is in a very interesting point. Because interest rates have risen as high as they've risen, it's put a real pressure on the values of real estate. And many, many real estate companies, whether they be developers, building owners, or even private investors, are feeling a very big bite now because of the interest rate environment we find ourselves in. We are not any different. Certainly we've been impacted by the higher interest rates. It's slowed down our ability for our brokerage work. It's slowed down some of the dispositions we had planned for the Boston market. It's slowed down some of the transitions we were going to have as it related to 716 Health and Roswell. So that's slow. Because of that economic condition, it slowed down the progress, but it didn't eliminate it. So as a result, this company lost $2.5 million last year. And you'd sit there and go, oh my God, $2.5 million. How many years can we keep doing this? The reality of it is we lost that money not because of operations or not because business went away. It was just simply delayed. And so what do I mean by that? When we talk about, well, what happens this year? This year we want to close the Roswell transaction. The Roswell transaction is the sale of 199 and 203 Park Club Lane to Roswell. When we close that transaction, the company will generate fees for that work. Very good for us. We collect revenue. We want to complete the transaction for 716 Health. That's the building Paul talked about. When we do that, when we get that final payment, the company collects revenue for that. So that's very good for the organization as well. So there's things that are happening just slowly. And you sit there and say, my gosh, why are we changing anything? The reality of it is we're not changing anything. We're still talking about the future. We're still preparing for the future. Kyle being named president is great for our future. Absolutely great. No offense to Paul, but it's great for the future. Thank God. Paul mentioned that we invested in yards.
And Kathy told me I need new business cards. I didn't even realize that.
Paul mentioned that we're converting to Yardi. Yardi was a big expense, and it's a huge undertaking. Everyone in this room will be affected by this undertaking. It's huge. But what it does is it provides an opportunity for us to prepare for the future. And that's what we continue to do. We continue to look. We want to listen to everyone. What else have we done? We've looked and brought in, Morgan Stanley to help us work with our 401k. And that provides a better option for all of us, a better resource for us as we try to manage our own 401ks, a great asset. We've listened to the surveys, and as Paul mentioned, we're evaluating the benefits package along with our relationship with Alcott. That is to, again, prepare us for the future, okay? And we think the future is very, very, very bright. But it has some problems. We certainly need to worry about economic events. Those can be damaging to us. If interest rates continue to be high, we can count on real estate value being low. That will then impact our ability, that will impact other people. Now, to some extent, and the people in property management say, I don't know, Jim, high interest rates seem to be doing great for us because we're now being tasked with assignments when banks take property back. And to some extent, that's true. This company tends to do better as the rest of the world tends to look worse. And I actually believe it's because of everyone in this room. Because we have an entrepreneur spirit, we can find value, we can find opportunity, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we continue to do. So I'm very happy about the way this company is heading and the people we have. I think you're wonderful. I will pass it off to Kyle, and he will talk about other things.
This is a bit improv, but I think we got to give Jim a round of applause for that. 2020 and 2023 are probably the two worst years in real estate since I've been on this earth. And Jim has helped us navigate those waters, and we wouldn't be here right today without him. So thank you, Jim, and thank you for taking all the not so good news and leaving me with the fun stuff. So, as we've harped on, 2023 was definitely a tough year number-wise, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a commercial real estate company in North America that would tell you otherwise. But that being said, we had a lot of growth last year and a lot of accomplishments that we should all be proud of and that are worth celebrating today. And I'm going to start with one that's already been mentioned, but I want to elaborate on it a little bit more. And that's with the newly formed Corporate Stewardship Group that came out this year with our first Corporate Stewardship Report. As many people have worked for me in the last few years, probably heard me say since I started here, our standard should never be companies in our region. Our standard should be companies on a national level. And nothing really reflects that point more than our first Corporate Stewardship Report. I presented this report to a group that I'm in with 17 different executives from across the region. They were blown away. In fact, they couldn't pick any holes in it. The only real feedback I got is you guys set the table so high, you're gonna have to do this on an annual basis, which might be tough. So, no pressure on you guys over there. But I really just want to thank Zach McKenzie and the entire team. You guys really, raised the bar. You're making us look great. Gotten a lot of fantastic feedback from it. We all should be really proud of that report that came out. On a similar note, I just want to take some time to really highlight the consistent growth of our marketing group. They really have taken some real strides in the past couple of years, led by Andy and Mackenzie. The material that's been produced and circulated through all of our verticals and social media platforms is 100% best in class. Our numbers are up in terms of our website visits, our social media visits, and in fact, when I was in New York City in the Newmark headquarters in December, 2 people came up to me out of nowhere and said, "Wow, Kyle, your company's really putting out some great products, some great research. I wish we actually were able to do stuff like that." That's coming from a billion-dollar company. So, I mean, it makes me so proud when people are coming up from different regions and talking about some of the stuff that we're putting out there. So again, best in class, really, throughout the country, not just here. Speaking of the Newmark relationship, continues to be very fruitful with constant inflow and outflow of business. One of my favorite success stories from the Newmark relationship though last year is how we were able to keep one of our existing clients and service them even better. As most of you know, Catholic Health has been a property management client for a long time, and we've also done a lot of transaction work on their behalf. Last year, they approached Ed McGinn, explaining that they've spoken to some national firms regarding a need for consulting services. Ed, already having worked with Newmark's consulting group with his Moog assignment, who's one of our clients now as well, he immediately set up a meeting with the consulting group in Catholic Health. The meeting went so well, Catholic Health never even took another pitch. So both Ed and the consulting group of Newmark are working on a daily basis with Catholic Health, and I'm also hearing rumblings that we're actually getting some more business out of that relationship, which is absolutely fantastic, truly collaborative effort, and it just should be really applauded all around, because that's why we brought in Newmark, for stuff like that. Not only just win business, but to keep business. Another great highlight from last year really comes out of one of the more unique relationships that we formed in my last 3 or 4 years since being at Ciminelli. I assume everyone remembers when we once handled the property management for Seneca One, as well as the leasing. Yes, we were very unfairly let go a few years ago. But what I'm most proud of is how we handled that termination and what it led to. We had a termination meeting with Douglas Jamal, which if anyone has ever seen or heard from him was pretty interesting, where we got him to agree to set some things upon our departure and really maintained a healthy relationship with him throughout. Many people had come up to me like, how did you still have a relationship with this guy, the way he treated you, this and that. You know, we took the high road though, and at the end of the day, we benefited from it because he engaged us last year in the largest office lease transaction in all of Buffalo and leasing 100,000 feet to Highmark at Seneca One. In addition to that, when he needed help with the police apartments, which is a residential complex that he owns downtown Buffalo, he brought in our residential team to manage the building for him. So we could have burned the bridge, we could have walked away, but we didn't. We took the high road, we used good business sense, and we made money out of it after the relationship was officially terminated. Really proud of our team for that one. Speaking of residential, that was one of many new pieces that they brought to the new business that they brought to the table last year. Led by Noel and Artie, the Resi team continues to grow and win new business. Great example, Buffalo Lofts in downtown Buffalo. Last year, the residential team was easily the fastest growing team from a headcount perspective, and I'm really, really excited to be a part of their continued growth and to watch it happen. It's been fun working with these guys, and really they're go-getters. I mean, we have business development groups meetings together now, and it's just so fun chasing business with everyone. They're so motivated. It's really fun to see and be a part of. Another great 2023 residential highlight was our incredible success in selling the newly created condos at the Bethune Lofts building. But before I get into how successful our sales efforts have been, I'd like to remind everyone that it took Alex Eisenhower, yes, Mr. Famous 30 under 30, Alex Eisenhower. Alex worked for 2 years with our attorneys to go through the legal process to officially turn that building. 3? Am I undershooting you? 3. Sorry. 3 years. If that's not unwillingness to fail, I don't know what is. So fast forward to this date, and with the help of our partners at 716 Realty, we now have sold 40 of over 80 or so units with 16 now under contract. That's accurate? I don't know. Are you selling any more since this morning?
We have 4 later today.
All right. Well, remember, our projections were when there were 3% mortgage rates. So we're doing all of this, when financing isn't too pretty. as Jim mentioned. So that, really great effort from that team. Alex, Katie from property management, all the support. I know this process was extremely painful, but your hard work's really paying off, and we really appreciate it. Commercial PM also had a really, really good year last year. A lot of wins. This 5-star was already mentioned, but I think we should elaborate on it once more because it was really a great model, some good business sense. But how do you get terminated for all the wrong reasons and then get hired under better economic terms than getting fired a few months before? Well, that's basically what we did. And as I mentioned, 5-star decided to terminate our agreement, open it up back up to RFP, and instead of being sour, Chris, Lenny, and the team saw this as an opportunity and worked with marketing to put together a very compelling response. And after many, many meetings and many, many negotiations, some that I was part of, really a tough process, we now have a contract in our hands that was better than the one that was terminated. So great work, Chris. He's not here, but Lenny and everyone else involved. We really showed some great business sense in that throughout that whole process. So one of the last highlights I'm gonna harp on here from 2023 is one that's pretty truly near and dear to my heart. As most of you know by this point, I have a real passion for trying to improve downtown Buffalo. In fact, almost to a fault. I started a group of young executives that own businesses downtown last year with the goal of disrupting the status quo. I've spoken on podcasts without much of a filter, although what Ciminellis have filters, so but what gives me the confidence? What gives me the confidence to be so outward with my views is the fact that this company has put its money where its mouth is, and the brand new lobby at Lafayette Court is really a perfect example of that. Located in one of the most important yet troubled corridors of downtown Buffalo, we've done what most landlords in the city have not. We've renovated our lobby and we attracted a vibrant retailer. So, we now have two of the nicest office lobbies in all of downtown Buffalo, as well as a mostly full Sinclair with a vibrant retailer. We brought the first market to downtown Buffalo with 201 Ellicott. And it really just gives me a lot of bump with trying to get different things done downtown. So I really applaud all of our efforts over the years for literally putting our money where our mouth is and improving a city where a lot of others are standing on the sidelines. And with the addition of Courtney last year, we're focused, and from our development team, we're really focused on some more big developments downtown, transformational developments that'll continue to up our company's reputation and improve the city that we all love. So now that I've touched on some of the highlights, I want to take a few minutes to welcome some of the new employees, and we've got a lot of them that we've hired in the last 6 to 7 months. Despite not having such a great year, and as Jim mentioned, we are still investing in our people, and this is an example of that. So I'm gonna name some people, and I don't know a lot, so a lot of these people. So stand up when I name their names. Arlen Burris, Johnny Poland, Russell Crouch, Howard Curry. I'm starting with the maintenance team, by the way. Dustin Janik, Nick Kolbach, Ryan Milligan, Gene Pecoraro, Jeff Pilicano, and Jonathan Swansea. A lot of new additions to the maintenance team. In residential, Vanessa Schreckengast, I get that right? Yes. And Teresa Maria Thawson, easily the 2 hardest last names on this entire team. In brokerage, we stole someone from a competitor, Jack Hawkins, coming over from Pyramid. Jack, welcome, buddy. Last but certainly not least in TI, Becky Schingler, who's fit in like a glove since the day she got it. So in closing, despite some really difficult factors last year and honestly still some uncertainty out there in the near future, really what helps me sleep at night is just looking at all of you and knowing that we have the incredible talent under this roof and under other roofs and this company that we are going to be able to navigate no matter what's in front of us and come out on top. So thank you everyone for all of your hard work in 2003 and cheers to 2024. Jim wants to open it up to questions.
You bet.
Any questions?
Actually, I do have.
Oh, Monica. My favorite color is blue. Anything else?
She's a
I
plant.
see lots of red here. Not the wrong kind of red though. I'm just curious, with the sale of 716 Health and Roswell, do you think we'll be able to overcome the loss of 2.5 million?
You want this or?
Well, I mean, sure. The short answer is yes. Actually, on a cash basis, we've already kind of overcome it, right, Matt? So, but you also want to have reserves too. So yes, that will help replenish the coffers, not only with investment capital that we could use to grow our investment platform, but also for crack on the transaction sides with the fees that we're getting. So yes, the short answer is yes. And like I said, like Jim said earlier, it's more of a timing issue. Monica, it'd be one thing if those projects went away, because we have, correct me if I'm wrong, man, I think we already paid taxes on a lot of that, right?
Yes.
So when that money comes in, most of it is going to fall to the bottom line, correct?
Stays with the company.
Yeah, stays with the company on the transaction fees and everything we're getting. So that's the bad news is it didn't come in 2023, caused a loss, pay taxes on it, which, but the good news is those deals seem imminent.
Yes.
There was actually a third one we didn't talk about, and it's kind of a thing that Matt and Noel and Artie are dealing with, is 201 Ellicott. Because that building was supposed to, what they do is that was an affordable housing project. That's the one next to Bray Miller downtown. That project was supposed to bring fee revenue in last year too. And because we were not able to hit certain financial bogeys, we couldn't convert with the financing to bring those dollars into the company, which we hope, and that can happen this year, maybe the soonest third quarter-ish.
But if you think about 716 Health is really the best of all worlds for us, because we developed it, we collected the development fees, we are going to sell it, there'll be a cash appreciation from that sale, and if you ask Jessica right behind you, she will say, we're still managing the property for fees.
Right.
So for us, that project is a smashing success, because we got to have our cake and eat it too.
And it's still flowing money.
Right.
Yes.
The other thing that the capital markets impacted that we didn't really touch on is our assets and newly acquired assets in Massachusetts. I'd say 75% of those assets are close to 100% full and cash flowing, and that in a healthy environment, we would have sold them and recouped, but we didn't. We're making the appropriate decision for us and our investors to hold, but it's good to know that those buildings are doing well, and at the appropriate time, they will sell. So there's that out there as well. So we're looking forward to getting that program sort of churning again when the capital markets open up as well.
Yeah, we're fortunate to get very, very strong leasing activity in Boston, like Kyle said, to fill those buildings. Really, I would say probably exceed our expectations on leasing last year, right, Brian? Yeah, it was like, and it continues to trend in the right direction there. And so maybe Ryan and I just came back from Boston this week, and maybe we could sell some things potentially in the third quarter this year if things get a little better based on some of the stuff you were talking about.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure, what needs to happen lenders have gone out and loaned money to all this real estate. And they did it usually when interest rates are around 3%. Now interest rates are 7.5, 8%. So banks who have a large real estate portfolio, meaning debt portfolio, are right now very, very concerned about that portfolio. And they're doing what they refer to as they're constricting cash for new loans. So new loans are the fuel that serves to drive the acquisition, part of our real estate market. So until those new loans are made more available to the potential buyers, you're not gonna see a lot of transaction as it relates to real estate at this time. But it's anticipated that sometime towards the election, go figure, interest rates will start to ease, and those capital markets will start to unfreeze, and we'll have a more, if you will, normal relationship for, real estate.
And the other thing, just to, and I'm really glad you brought that up, Monica, because I'm sure it could be in the back of a lot of your minds, oh my God, $2.5 million. But the thing that I felt confident is, looking down the pipeline of where these deals were at. And there's always, I'm one of these believers, especially our company, our size, is that when there's a little bit of a downturn, there's always a flight to quality on service and product. And that's a huge differentiator. In my experience in real estate cycles is, if you're a real estate either owner, developer, manager, if you're playing offense, in other words, you're investing, you're looking to the future, and you're investing in your product, you're investing in your company, there's two things that I've learned. Number one, when the economy turns, you come out of it a lot faster than your competition because they're all playing defense. What do I mean by that? They're cutting everything. They're laying people off. They're not investing in Yardi. They're not investing in IT. They're figuring out, where they can save. And what they end up doing is, there's an old saying, when you're rebuilding, you're always with your company or your sports team, you're always rebuilding. But we believe in the future. We looked at it in an intelligent way and said, no, we're moving ahead with everything because we know when the market turns, we're going to come out of this thing better, faster, stronger, just like we did during COVID, when we made the commitment to keep everyone, didn't lay anyone off, kept the team together. And because of that, we came out faster, better, stronger, and faster than a lot of our competition. And we're going to continue to do that. And that's how we run here. As long as you don't get too far over your skis and you have the resources to do it, which we do. We have enough checks and balances, even personality-wise, to make sure that we don't get too over our skis. We got guys like Matt and guys like Jim and asset management, Josh and Alex, and tell us everything we can and can't do. The guys like me and Kyle and Ryan and the other team. So,
Go the other way.
So, yeah.
Are you saying we're negative?
No, you're cautious. How's that? All right.
Anyone else?
Where do we look for future development in our area? Ciminelli portfolio of development.
We're always looking for the medical opportunities in the suburbs, I think, which we're very good at, and we've proven that. We're looking at a couple, some residential development downtown, some mixed-use development downtown. But I think right now, really, only things you can really bank on is residential and some medical stuff right now, and then we're hoping industrial can come back like it was. We started dabbling a little bit in industrial a couple years ago, and those fundamentals sort of went away with the interest rates, but we see that the demand's there for that type of product too. Office just isn't going to happen for a long time. That ship is sort of come and gone.
And we're cognizant of the fact that the stadium is right now sucking up resources. It's sucking up material, it's sucking up labor, and as a result, it's causing the rest of the construction industry to actually be inflated, if you will, in terms of costs. So we absolutely believe that while the stadium is going on, it's going to be very difficult to go out and get a loan for a new contract, for a new construction, and have those projects come in, if you will, on budget where we need them to be.
You checked me right away.
But that's not to say we're not going to do it. We just do this stuff with our eyes wide open, and we plan for where we are, and that's kind of how we've been doing it.
Yeah, because the good news on that is a couple of the projects that Kyle mentioned, we kind of control. So we could get ready on paper, and when the economics are right, whether, like Jim said, then we could pull the trigger on the projects. So, but we are continuing to look for opportunity on the investment side to
Yeah, I didn't mention that.
to buy more stuff. Right now, the Boston market's been very good for our company. And so we continue to hunt there and look for opportunities. So, so that's really where we see a future too.
The really good thing about the Boston market is it's driven by R&D, and you can't do R&D from home. So there's still demand, there's people coming in, those buildings are getting full, those companies are expanding. The whole work from home hybrid thing just didn't impact that sector of the world. Fortunately, we don't have much R&D in Western New York, but
And it drives good fee revenue for the company. So, any other questions? Is that it? All right, thank you, everyone.
thanks everyone, enjoy the weekend.